The intermediate method is the next method to learn after the beginner's method from this channel. In this video will be an overview of the next steps for the intermediate method, and then later I'll also be giving advice for what order you should be learning the next steps in. If you learn the typical beginner's method from another channel, the way that you would solve the last layer is very different than the way that I teach it on this channel, where you flip the cube upside down and you reorient all the corners at the end. The beginner's method from this channel solves the cube the same way until you get to the last layer. The last layer is solved a little bit differently, and the way that it's solved is much more similar to future methods, whether it's the intermediate or the advanced method, so that you can have an easier transition into learning more advanced methods. To have an easier transition to the intermediate method, you might want to check out the last layer steps 5 through 8 of the beginner's method taught on this channel. You don't have to, but if you're struggling with the last layer part for intermediate method, you might want to check those videos out first so that you can understand the ways that I'm referencing how to solve it. For the intermediate method, step 1 and 2 is advanced cross and advanced F2L. So to learn these steps, see the advanced method playlist for step 1 and 2, where I teach the advanced cross and advanced F2L, and then you can come back to the intermediate method playlist for the final steps of the intermediate method. If advanced cross and advanced F2L is too advanced for you, then what you can do is solve F2L the beginner's way, and then you can solve the last layer the intermediate way. So for solving the first 2 layers with the beginner method, you would be doing first the daisy, then next the white cross, then you would solve white corners, and then your second layer edges. And then the last layer for the intermediate method, you would be doing 2-look OLO part 1, 2-look OLO part 2, 2-look PLO part 1, and then 2-look PLO part 2. So that's actually how I started learning it. I did the beginner method for F2L, and then the intermediate, and then eventually advanced for the last layers. So first I learned 2-look PLO, and then I went backwards and learned 2-look OLO. And I stayed using the beginner's method for everything that I hadn't learned yet. And then eventually when I felt ready, I learned advanced cross, and then finally I learned advanced F2L. And I feel like learning it in that order, personally, is the easiest way to learn how to solve the cube with harder methods. And outside of the tutorial videos for learning F2L, I have a tips and tricks video where I teach how to manipulate the different pieces and pairs of F2L. And I think that video would be very helpful so that you can easier understand what I'm teaching in the F2L tutorial videos. So that is all for this video, and the following videos in the intermediate playlist will actually be teaching the next step for the intermediate method. So we'll be learning 2-look OLO and 2-look PLO. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.